I'm right. Give me that mic. Give me that mic. Let me know if I got that right. Give me that mic. Talk to me. Let me know if I'm right. Hey, now. Um, Again, I want to welcome y'all back to another motivation talk about it Tuesday topic. And just give me a minute here while I get these comments in to start for you guys. Sitting. What happened? Thank you, sir. You knew what I was trying to do. Stop acting like you don't know. Yeah. So, in our ways, you know what I'm saying? Just give me a minute. We getting y'all to take some time to get up in here and come with us. You know what I mean? Because we got a bit of time. We just trying to see what y'all got going on for the moment in time. You know. Yeah, like you know what I'm saying. Like it's looking like what's good. First off, Folkland, what's good? That girl Keita, what's happening now? Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Don't forget to share the live. Do forget to silent. The blind man is only doing so much right now. I appreciate y'all for tuning in though, for real, for real. Uh, yeah, we joined in for today's episode, right? And I'm keeping it a buck. I got really no ideals because we came to a conundrum of more or less two situations here. I had a little bit of a thought that it came to me earlier today when I set up the stream. However, my conversation thoughts have changed for the Topic Tuesday topic. So again, I apologize for that. But I just want to say that first off, if all are heard or all can hear me and hear me well, I'm hoping that everything comes in and comes in swell. We're gonna do a little audio check in a minute here. I'm gonna jump out of where I'm at. Thank God we already in YouTube, so we can go a little further back to the home screen and see what we could do. Get rid of that first. No, 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 no. Well, I don't know. You know what's funny? It almost seems like it's the one thing I don't get when I'm looking for it myself. But thankfully, thank you. I appreciate you.
Me?
That lets me know that I can actually hear it really, really well.
Me?
Yeah. Because thank you. I really was looking for that too. That was my thought process. Like, why is it I couldn't hear it? So, why is I couldn't get to the episode from the YouTube channel? But of course, technology and my blind ass having these issues, it's almost heaven sent that it happens so frequently. But anyway, thank you for joining us today. It's a Talk About It Tuesday. And yeah, man, appreciate you for being here, bro. You know what I'm about to do, right? I'm gonna make. I don't think that would be smart. Actually, no. It could be. Could be. We could do that. We could do that here. You, however, my sir, have to be somewhere else because that's good feedback.
So I could exit for now, and then when I go to the hospital, I can relog back in.
There you go. Smart guy. Smart guy. We'll,
Indeed, my good sir.
we'll drop this for now. So you'll be there for us for the later time. I want to make you a moderator at least though while you're in the chat. So
Oh, I already exited. Well, I just
you
closed
left
out
the live, but that's
Instagram.
fine. That's fine. You're fine. You're fine. You're fine. Appreciate that. So in any
I kind of
case,
figured it would help you find out if your mic's doing good or not.
but that was for Instagram. I was looking for the IG. I was looking for the YouTube channel. So let's look for the YouTube because the mic is hot on the YouTube. That's what I want to make sure the mic is still connected on the YouTube. So,
Okay.
look up the show for the YouTube channel and see how that quality sounds.
Or
That's
the
different.
PZ show?
Yeah, the PZTVs, the PZ show, PZTVs, the PZ show live, or you can just put in the PZ show live or the PZ show, and it should show up.
What the hell was that?
But yeah, I thought about something here in the topic to talk about, and I think it's an intertwined situation. Because for me, like I thought about, what do you really want for Christmas this year? What is something you're expecting this year for Christmas as a thought for a topic to talk on? And yes, it did occur to me that it could be very much one of the topics to talk about today. However, I really like the fact that people are starting to feel this holiday spirit. You see what I'm saying? I really think about this now, but I'm gonna tell you a story first before we get through the whole duration of this, and I'm gonna want you to see why I brought you to this whole space issue, right? Okay, so today I went to a pantry space to go grab some food, we need snacks and shit. Man, nigga need some shit in the house, you know. It's the holidays, It's wintertime. The seasons have changed, Now, for a charity of a nonprofit organization like such, and I'm not going to say the names because we're not going to disrespect the situation. We're just going to make this situation a general statement here. All right. Upon my arrival to this establishment, I first made a call before I even left the house. The initial call was to find out what information was needed in order to acquire services from the pantry center. So, you know, um, upon acquiring all said information needed to even qualify or register, I then began my march up to the building. The hours were from 12 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. For the time space on today and Wednesdays and Thursdays. I'm sorry. Um, for these services. However, in order to receive the delivery services, you have to be signed up and registered actually to receive pantry from them. So, in that gesture, I then proceed back to said pantry center, right? So, making my way, we get there. It's getting cold, and I now have on 2 jackets, a hoodie, hat, you know. Only thing I was missing at the moment, with the addition of extra pants, socks, and shoes that felt like I was wearing 2 packs of shoes. The boots was, but it didn't have, no snow on the ground. So thankfully we made it in a decent amount of time, even though, the bitter cold was starting to wear in. Okay, so thankfully, upon arrival, we arrived in a decent amount of time. I think it was about closer to quarter of two, more or less, like the 1:30 hour, more or less, by the time we arrived at the said building. So we get there, and by the time we arrived, I mean, it almost seemed like it came straight out of a movie. Immediately, we were standing in a now extended line, which is outside of the establishment, and there are individuals, who are already in the building. However, the wind has now started to pick up, and several people that are left outside, along with an additional number of children, were now getting cold. I mean, at this point, we're standing near a facility that would resemble the structure of that of a cathedral, which does tend to cut pretty deep with the wind when you try to stand in a space that almost recognizes itself as the siding of the building, however it be on the main area of the said building. You feel me? Oh, I think I got my, yeah, there we go. But yeah, so moving on. We get to this building. We're sitting here, and we've been now sitting here for more than 10 minutes. It gets cold. I forgot to get my gloves. I'm not going to make myself a fucking excuse for the fact that my hand went numb because, of being prepared and not just dealing with the bullshit. But, however, we brought it down to the crunch. That's what's up. But anyway, let me stop. This shit moves on. So, I then proceed to stand there even longer because demands have come down from the people at the door. Okay, and some of the people at the head of this line, with the addition of these small children, were more pressed at the fact that they were trying to get inside because this shit was getting cold, and these children were getting cold. Okay, regardless of the fact that fucking there was no, coat or not coat. There was coats on. But it was freaking cold. Okay, they said it was supposed to be a snowstorm today. So later on, at around this time, and they were saying they was like, so at this point, it's cold. Okay, we were just more concerned with the children. It's like my first thought was that. But moving towards that, getting inside the building and proceeding to see the motionary additional BS that began, we then realized that I now have to almost myself, with the assistance of said friends on the side, to assist me in receiving these registration identifications to these people, because as I approached the desk coming into the building, matter of fact, first off, it's like find a seat.
They didn't tell you that, though. They pointed.
No, they just pointed at a seat and didn't say nothing to me. I was like, sit down. And I'm like, I'm hearing sit down, but I'm like, where's the chair? I can't see. So, again, thanks to my fellow brethren on the side, you can't see. But anyway, here, it's over here, bro. So I sit down, and then anybody who's first time here, okay, I'm first time here. Okay, so I, whatever, I get up. That's me. I threw my hand up. I didn't even get up first. I threw my hand up. And again, I have my stick. I am blind. I might have no glasses or shades to show said identifying markers, but the man here in this screen to you today is blind. Okay? So, even in that sense, it almost seemed as if they were testing me to try to figure out if they could catch me in some sort of misdirection. However, due to the fortunate side of me actually being 100% fucking blind, this whole shit became just as an irritation overall, because now that this whole embarrassing streak has now been established, it's now time for me to sit down and find a seat after they give me a number and they say, oh yeah, we got you. We're gonna set you up real quick and we can get you this and this and this, right? Okay. Well, first off, they never told me what I could get. They waited till my friends actually got upstairs.
Sorry.
Or wherever the hell they took you out to.
Just a separate room.
I sat, a whole nother room.
Yeah.
Basically another room to go look to grab the stuff. But again, I sat down the entire time afterwards because of the simple fact I was just so aboard by the gesturing of these, people. I don't know if they're volunteers. They said it's a non-profit organization, but here's the thing. If you're gonna keep people in there like that, you shouldn't really, you know what I mean? Like, but anyway, community effort. One of the biggest things that I think is missing in our neighborhoods and our cities today. So it's one of the one things that we lack in these neighborhoods and cities because of the simple fact that it's more centralized around a different appearance due to demographics in so many ways.
Or how they were trying to talk to a deaf person.
But I mean, when you notice that you are approaching individuals who may have a special need, I don't think it's hard to identify certain people or just have a courteous heart. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the hell? Are we seriously talking about the fact that a man walks into a building with two other fellows assisting him, even presenting a walking cane? This should be a nationally recognized, if not globally recognized, instrument that individuals who have visual impairments use. Okay, and even if not, there should be some sort of way for you to identify yourself, or not have to do so much of a gesture to identify yourself as certain things. I mean, I get it. Some people don't recognize who some people are and what some people might, be introduced. What way you might introduce yourself to certain people. You see what I'm saying? And I honestly understood the fact that when I spoke to the young lady on the phone, you know what I mean, she initially told me everything I needed, and then however said to me, it's gonna be a while before we get to you, but we're gonna make sure that we get you taken care of. So I understood that part. However, I did not anticipate the fact that I would be sitting outside for nearly 45 minutes.
An hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah. Or more, for that matter. And there were others that had been sitting outside for longer.
Since 12,
since 12:30 at earlier, and like I'm talking as early as noon today. So from that 2.5-hour day of their charity work, these
like 3.5.
You know what I'm saying? Like, these individuals have set out a streak of what seems like good charity and good work, but now has dressed up some big ass situation, and for what it's worth, it has seemed to make the difference of none to them. Like, oh, we don't really care. It's a voluntary nonprofit work. They just giving you stuff, and they making sure you don't get, they get the numbers and all that other stuff. However, in this season, this is the reason why I bring it back to this. Like, in this season, right, we always talk about in December, like, goodwill towards men and all this other stuff, right? Well, how can you convey and transmit like certain gestures of goodwill and good Samaritanism if you come to a space that is supposed to be one of the bedrocks of these developments, and somehow are met with such a ill-mannered situation? You see what I'm saying? Now that's my kind of topic to talk about on this situation, because I'm just bringing you a sort of situation in my own personal situation to the table. You know what I'm saying? Like, because me, I ain't gonna sit here and kick back with you. I'm gonna kick it to you.
It's 7:20.
This is Soul Richard. What's going on, family? Hold on, man.
Oh, sorry.
That's what I'm saying, Brody. You do me that solid, bro. Share this live out. Let some people know what's up.
I did.
But we about to hit that 7:20 marker in a few, and I've been dying to hit this bud, boo. It's called Viagra Green.
Lung slapper.
AKA the lung smacker. Good God, it's kicking like hard. Roddy Card. Ooh wee. And you
Good
know
type.
when I do those, they give it to
I
you good
overcooked the
indeed.
chicken.
Oh my goodness. Excuse me.
Good
Oh
type.
my goodness. But that is one of the gestures that we're talking about. Goodwill towards man, right? We're supposed to be doing that. We're supposed to practice it. It's supposed to be something. You all right?
You okay?
Oh man, every time I fucking eat, I choke on fucking food.
No bueno. No bueno. But yeah, like this shit is bonkers. And for myself personally, I really have been trying to ponder the situation because, in all reality, like my initial conversation to you guys today was,
Alright.
I wanted to talk about the acronyms.
We had now.
You know what I mean? Crips and Blood. You know what I mean? Or Crip and Blood. Actually. The acronym behind those references and why can't we analyze them in their own little ways? Like for the most part, I think people need to stop before they go too far into this text when I get to this segment. And the reason why I say that is because the acronyms, you know what I mean, for it is Community Revolution in Progress, or Brotherly Love Overcomes Our Own Destruction. So with just saying, like, since when in our own spaces, when we realize these things and we look at the demographic of these particular people that we are now analyzing the regularities of their organization here. I'm not trying to rag on nothing, and I'm not speaking in crazy spaces, but I'm just speaking to the knowledge of wanting to understand what happened to the concept that we started with here, and why are we applying this, since we want to be a big nation of people, but we understand that these separate situations allow certain causes and causations to happen. However, the routine situation has now become more of a gang in itself. Mafia among mafias. Like, what is it that we have missed, or we have slid off of, because we start realizing that in most spaces, like, it's in quieter spaces, you know what I mean, where people are real regulated on certain things, but how we notice now it's like a more reckless routine.
We're taking the keys.
Well,
We'll be back in a little bit.
Okay.
We're gonna go see J1.
Safe journey.
This is peace, love, and chicken grease. My brother here speaks the truth.
But
Realize.
make sure you lock the door behind you too.
Indeed, my good sir.
But yeah, like, I for one have grown to learn, like, we face a lot of difficulties in work. That's a given. However, given the fact that we still have at least some, if not any, recognition, can't we just devise ways other than what we are seeing right now to inhabit, our communities with these, destructive natures, rather than seek out the true nature of what the organizations in themselves have established. You know what I'm saying? So in that reference, right, as I said, that's what I wanted to bring to y'all, right? However, that's a whole different thing, right? I just want to bring it back to something more seasonal, right? We talking holiday shit, right? So in that measure, that's why I say, okay, we're talking about the referencing of how they bring these things to people. Like, how do you think about people that come to establishments looking for these particular services? You know what I'm saying? Is it your critique of these people that, you know, what about these? Yo, is it really like, yo, that's bad. Like, what is your view on this? Because I mean, think about it. Like, there's a lot of people out in the world, and we all go through different things, man. So you tell me, you know, would you treat a person differently if they came to you in them circumstances, even if they had a disability, or let's just say they don't look like they come from a background that suits your liking, right? What then, my guy? Because, like, think about it. Like, this is home for people. If I'm there at said pantry center, this state by law goes by area, by zip code. Therefore, my zip code allows me the opportunity to go to a nearby, you know, nearby pantry that I can acquire the need, right? And I did. Therefore, I was there for that service. However, the courtesy on said time of going during the rush and bustle of everything that had took place, it was very much overwhelming. However, I weathered the whole situation, and I just feel like this is my personal opinion point from it when I say that part of it. But however, I just want to hear what you think about this. And I'm waiting. But in any case, I'm really wanting to see what y'all think about this. And where would this go? Like, while I tell you that, in a sense, I do think that's about that time. Check my thing, see what we're doing. Okay. Nothing going on. But as I said, I just really wanted to get everything going in a reference of, like, what do y'all think about that? You know what I'm saying? Like, because there's really a lot more to think about in this whole reference of the situation. Where Reed, what are you doing? What are you doing? How you doing? Talk about it Tuesday. We got you going with a topic Tuesday, man. So, judging by the situation, if you've been feeling a little wrongfully, prejudicedly, treated in a way where, certain individuals have now placed you in a certain stereotypical, catalog, so to speak. You know what I mean? If you don't really understand, you got to go back on the recap. But like I say, I honestly approach the situation like, okay, so thankfully we went on a time when the pantry was open, and we got there in a time where we would have merited that. Even with the time they took, we still had time to go there and get back in a decent time. However, by the time that we actually got there, we had that time and more, because we then had to sit for additional time, most of which took place outside for then that duration up until they were just about to close, and they decided to let all of the rest of us in and stand around till we found a seat and left, and were able to leave or get our stuff and leave. So that whole situation just really became more of a concern. You know what I'm saying? You think about that. Like, see what I'm saying? Like, hello, I was cold. I mean, and it doesn't help that I wasn't wearing no gloves today, but at the time, I didn't expect to be standing outside. I actually expected to go inside the building by the time I got there, so that I wouldn't be standing in the cold like that. However, in this address, it happened, so I bared it. Thank God. Even in that time, I had enough time to recharge my hand and bear the weather just enough to get back home. But for what it's worth, you see what I'm saying? Looking at the situation in its entirety, you see what I'm saying? Like, what we looking for is more of a community improvement in our city, in our town, in our neighborhood. You know what I mean? Like me personally, I'm a man who really just wants to build foundations around the things that he's doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's stop playing around. Let's start looking at, everything going on in your city, going on in your town, going on in your neighborhood. How can you make things, better for your city if somewhere in these situations there is no common courtesy, one, to getting and accepting aid or even courteous information, maybe, somebody dropping some knowledge on you, you know what I'm saying? Something that'll help enrich your life. You your knowledge should be based on engaging with your community and learning how to expand and build, your roots. If you live there, you live there, right? You repping your town, right? All right, really dig in if you say that. I mean, if you're gonna do it on the one way, do it on the other way too. Learn that in your city, there's things that you can do and you can't do, whatever that is, and be smart about your shit. This is what it is, man. Learn to protect what's yours in ways that it would benefit you in the long run too, not just in the shortcoming. You feel me? Hmm. Or if they plan ahead, right? Hmm. Hmm. I'm sorry, y'all, but this shit good as fuck. But anyway, like I said, plan ahead, right? So that's best. And in any case, it's just doing what you know is right. You know what I'm saying? So in any case, as long as you keep it to that measure, you know, I feel like you can make a lot of things around you start to change too. I mean, it's all about your attitude on things too. You may have to sit back and address just what your attitude just may be, whether it be a good one or a bad one. And honestly, I'm not one to rate nobody like that. You ain't been around me long enough for me to even rate nobody on anything like that. I'm just saying. Honestly, I feel like anybody, generally, who gets to know someone should at least spend some time with them. If you have time to observe certain things, certain mannerisms, yeah, different, you know. But then when you actually take time to sit with a person, if a person has been with you and spent time with you, you spent time with them, you know, you then tend to build up a sort of catalog of things, like things that you can recognize in similarity or even things you can recognize in different. You feel me? So, yeah, it pays to do that research. However, applying that to your community, that's where it counts for you too. Because even in those spots, like I feel like that's a good place to like really just learn how to get into the civics of it all, which understood like I understand like people really like shy away from that whole situation, but now for the fact that I've lived for the portion of 40 nearly 40 years on earth, I now feel like I see why people push this kind of shit out. However, now that it's so prevalently in front of us in the shit, I honestly just want to learn how to get rid of the demigod issues with people in these positions of power that are misusing it at every risk and cost that they tend to get elected and put in positions for. It's not good and it's not healthy if we're choosing to commit to trying to make someone who holds all of these so-called powers and positions over us, and we pledge an allegiance to that. We can acquire these things and be able to feel these, you know, things will be met for us. However, we have to build our own, and we have to pick yourself up by your bootstrap, all that other stuff. Like, I'm just saying here, I get the thing about poverty. It's bad. Homelessness is bad. It really is. But y'all are seeming to affect it in a different way. And it's like we don't care that these things are really hurting our citizens, even our people in general. Because causation of these critical systems that are being hit for their fundings, and not only that, but systems being cut down and others closing because of not being able to continue to proceed even in the minimum standards that they were able to afford. It's not even able to work. And then there more concerning situation is, how about raising the defense bill to about $9 billion, 900 billion now, excuse me, I'm sorry, $900 billion for some wars that we've been agitating and somehow involved in, more or less because of the political leaders that took over certain or decided to do certain things in our country over years in history and time. Okay, and I'm just being here trying to understand things, and I feel like we should really pay more attention to our output. Oh, we should be more attentive of what's going on outside. Like, we really do, because I just feel like we are missing something here that has been basically slapping us in the face every time it come around, because we don't even pay it no mind, and we keep thinking that we can do the everything. However, we are not fully equipped for everything, you know. And the thing is, in that sense, even with governments helping and saying they're helping, this is kind of crazy when you look at the fact that their complaint is over funding, when the funding isn't even close to what they're funding for people like SNAP and the Medicaid affairs and stuff. So it's like, are you kidding me? Huh? I don't even want to talk no more. I don't even want to talk no more. Pac didn't talk about this. Pac said this back in the 90s, y'all. Come on. And where he was saying that on a musical level to the people outside, I feel like somebody needs to step out and really be that person for that side. What's right and what should be right for the people. If we want to be living under under these government, right? We live in a country governed by laws, policies, and all this stuff, right? So, okay, don't you think that this government that we live under, even the states, because that is the functioning government, okay, they all connected. Don't even get it twisted. They all connected, okay? However, this situation dictates solely on our ability to know civics and be equipped to be able to indicate people who are good people, because apparently we have found a form of these people popping up as more like, yeah, we know who you are. You're definitely somebody that we should have never voted in. And understand me when I say the voting process is one thing. You gotta start paying attention. Cause yeah, I pay attention. And I've been listening to not only what's going on nationally, but I pay attention to what's going on locally too. See, that's where people get it twisted. You gotta start paying attention more locally as well. That's where you start at. You learn the basics there, you know? Then you'll start to see the different neighborhood conjunctures that you can get enabled with. See, that takes you being active. You know what I'm saying? You have to be active in these situations as well. That's the other part of it that we miss as well. With faith, what they say, faith without works is dead, right? Just keeping it real, man. Like, I hate it because it's the truth. But I know that in all efforts, if you ain't doing nothing, you ain't getting nowhere. You got to do something to get something. Can't do nothing and try to get something. So in any matter, I feel that in all my efforts, I try to just do my best to get something. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to fight for something. You know, it might not even be what I'm shooting for now. I might shoot for something else later. You feel me? But at any cost, that's just the main perception of the fact that I have a dream. And in my dream, I feel like there's going to be something there for me that I can take my entire family to a place that I can really just enjoy the comfort of them being comfortable for the rest of the time. You know what I mean? And I'm just shooting for it. You know what I mean? I'm here shooting for it. You know what I mean? So I do what I, feel like is the thing that really just passionately gives me the most enjoyment. It has brought me the most treatment of other things. Like, I feel myself, now, like, I might be, sitting in the house and, you know what I'm saying, just walking around doing something in the kitchen or something, you know what I mean? And then start humming this song in my head, And at the end of the day, for me, I've had different, reflections to my music, and I think what I realize is I make some of my most deepest thought out, more structured in so many ways songs that if I had time to do the timings and get everything directly correct, like, oh man, this shit would be insane. And I think that this would be my best time to like sit down and really structure some things and get some real growthful and really well thought out strategized tracks and really just get my patterning together. Like, I want people to really understand the soulful changes that have come from me and been able to be pushed out, not just from a hip hop level, but from a soulful level, because I've been on trying to make, my whole upbringing, like infliction into my music as far as the stages of every this just what I mean, like thing that I've been through. Like so like I'm still going through a lot as we speak, but as we stand here today, I'm thankful that I'm here. You know what I mean? I wouldn't have never thought I would have been here this long, and I'm thankful that he let me be here this long. So I got to see things and even feel things and be in the presence of things that just, you know, made my understanding of the world around me a little more stabler for myself to kind of pass through as a man who just wants to live and be, you know, a family with his family. You know what I mean, so to speak. Um, yeah. Well, I mean, for me, you tell me, cause like I said, I'm more or less just coming in a place looking for courtesy, a little bit of assistance, and it came with accommodation. You know, and just the initial directive seemed so very much unconcerned, which for me that just gestured that damn. I don't think I came in there, you know, with an attitude. However, I was very disgruntled at the fact that I was sitting outside for over an hour and cold. But nevertheless, for the sake of the fact that I needed said services, I did. However, the children that had to do that, and they sat out there for just as long, if not as long, longer, and it was that cold. How do you think they felt for you to take that long? And I would say it was definitely that long because the young lady was banging on the door, started arguing with them. Hey, what's going on? There's kids out here. What's the problem? And the man shut the door in their face. And mind you, I can't see, but I have friends here. Mm, hang on, guys. I really just, I, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I really don't know why I decided to do that because again, to me, it's like really, really ignorant. It's like it keeps deciding to cut me out. It's very ignorant though. But for me, it's like for real. However, and for a minute for myself, you know what I mean? I feel like in any gesture, you know what I'm saying? I'm just coming in seeking services, you know what I'm saying? And however the services are sought out, address first the fact that the person may come to you in different manners. You know, respect that man, that woman. You know, you think about the fact that I didn't even mention that there was a pregnant lady out there amongst the women and children, amongst the men, women and children, and myself. So we got a blind man, myself, that happened to be a deaf young man that passed in and needed his help, and yet again received the same address that I received. Like, oh my God, it was so crazy. Like, the man actually kept asking him the same question, and then he kept trying to address him to no avail. But the man didn't understand he was deaf. Therefore, he spoke in sign language, or he wrote. It's sad. There was no help. There was miscommunication heavily. And this was all in spite of it starting at little to nobody. Then, however, piling in with us in there, and the space being so small where it had us at, it was just strange. But I'm saying it's just the whole wave of society is supposed to be our communities that we live in are supposed to be well supported in order to better infiltrate or like create a infrastructure that really reflects the care and commitment taken in the community amongst the people who actually really want their community to flourish and be the great city, town, neighborhood it wants, country it is, how can you do that, right? When for what seems like the last few years now, we have started on a sort of de-evolutionizing of our once known and even once agreed upon commitments. And what we start to notice is the fact that the government has now tried to apply people to the lives that are at risk every time they decline these issues and we address them. Think about it. For every number of things that you can complain about that you believe our government therefore should be privy to, because we can't do it. I bet you if you go out there and try to fix one of them hot holes in the road, you'll get arrested if you don't get hit first. Okay? I'm just saying. However, they take months and months and months to do something. And we funding them. And then they tell us they don't have the funding when we ask them why we not getting the roads and stuff fixed. What is the problem? Now, I done moved all over the place. But it all has to do with the common courtesies that we are lacking seeing even in this holiday season. Because this ain't something that's been going on for the last few days since the December month happened. No. This shit been going on for years. And I'm not going to address it in the sense of I know exactly how long. I am just aware of the dates as I hear them called out. And yes, it being such things that have such numerous documentation that has addressed the negligence to the people and the people's need for that matter. You feel me?
Here's your reminder. 5 minutes to get out of here.
But I really can jump into this shit all day. You feel me? But 5 minutes to go, as they say. So on that note, I'm gonna just tell you, don't forget tomorrow's episode, New Wave Music Wednesday, right? You know what it is. You join the live with me. I ain't mean like join the live with me, but if you jump in the live with me, hop in the live room with me, join me on Facebook, on YouTube, on Instagram, plus especially on YouTube, because we're trying to build up the subscriber channel. Fuck with me over there for real, for real. Peasy TV is the Peasy Show Live. We over there. Let's go. Let's build it up. Because then, by the end of this week, next week, we will be doing New Wave Music Wednesday Song of the Year. Like I said, submit your music if you're submitting your music. But I ask you this week only for submission to the Songs of the Week with a donation. Please, I'm asking you to submit your song with a donation just if you want to. If you don't want to, don't have to. But like I said, next week now, don't come asking me to do a free track play next week, try to win some money. You feel me? I don't want to hear that because you know what it is. I already addressed it. I hope y'all ready for it. But for real, for me, personally, I appreciate all of you guys for joining us this week. New Wave Music Wednesday, as I said, is next. Submit your music live, MrJGuns@gmail.com, or you can hit me up on WhatsApp, +1 518-776-5154, or join me on the Discord. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get it back together. They let me in, they let me out. They let me in, they let me out. I don't know what the fuck it is. It's crazy. But you know what it is. Join me live. We trying to get it in. Submit some music, and let's jam out tonight, tomorrow night. New Wave Music Wednesday, all right? Appreciate y'all for being a part of what we did tonight, though. But think about that in the comments when you think about it below. Appreciate y'all for joining the show, for real, for real. It's been love, yo, for real. It's been love. And like I said, the comment of Topic Tuesday, as I said before, is for the sake of just getting that information down there for you. Not only that, but letting you know, for real, like there's much more to go once we get rich and get our shit together, right? On top of that, though, I want to let y'all know, man, like we really do appreciate all of you who are contributing and who are paying attention to us, watching us and sharing the stream and all that stuff, man, because it all shows love to us and does something in the matter of really putting us on a spectrum where things can really be, you know what I mean, a whole different thing, bro. Like, I really just want to help this whole situation to bloom into something really great if we take the time to do the right things. You know what I'm saying? It all takes us just being a part of this community and learning ways to expand our community and build more on our conscious minds on how to get better at being better individuals, whether in your home or in your communities. Just be a better person that really focuses on life and what it means to be a great individual. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to be labeled as a good person, by the time, you know, people are writing books about people before our time or around our time that existed when their time is up and they want to know some things, get to know what it means to be a good person in yourself first. And then look at the fact that outside of the world around you, everything is different. Nobody is there at the same level you are, but you don't have to let that affect who you are. You see what I'm saying? So being the person that you want to be, even in the settings that you're in, determines where your attitude is in life. And me, myself, I've often learned that by just being the person I am and, you know, commonly knowing that some things ain't gonna always be the way that I've always, you know, expected or wanted them to fall in. However, I am able to understand that and the fact that I can rise above it all, given the circumstances that I do my job. I do what I do, you know, and just do my best. So I appreciate y'all for being a part of this show tonight. Peasy's New Wave Music Wednesday is next. I appreciate y'all for being here. Peasy's out. Aight. Yeah. Okay. What are we doing now? We need 8 o'clock for him.